Can you really learn English while you sleep? Or is that just a dream we all want to believe? Imagine waking up tomorrow and suddenly speaking better English. Sounds impossible, right? Well, today we're going to uncover the truth. In this video, I'll reveal what science actually says about sleep learning, how your brain works at night, and whether listening to English while you sleep can truly boost your skills. And here's the best part. I'll also share 3 simple techniques you can try tonight, and one big mistake to avoid. If you've ever wondered whether sleep could be your secret English teacher, this video is for you. Before we dive in, let me ask you, have you ever tried listening to English before bed? Maybe a podcast, a YouTube video, or an audiobook? Comment below with your experience. I'll be reading and replying. All right, let's start with the big question. Can you really learn English while you sleep? To answer that, we need to look at where this strange idea even came from. Spoiler, it didn't start with English learners. It started almost 100 years ago. Chapter 1. The idea of sleep learning. So, where did this whole idea come from? The thought that you could learn while you sleep isn't new at all. In fact, people were fascinated by it almost 100 years ago. Back in the 1920 seconds and 30 seconds, some scientists began experimenting with the idea. They believed that while your body rests, your brain might still be awake enough to pick up new information. In one famous experiment, researchers played recordings of simple vocabulary words to people who were sleeping. The next day, those people claimed they remembered some of the words, even though they never studied them while awake. Sounds like magic, right? But here's the catch. When other scientists tried the same experiment, the results weren't so clear. Some people seemed to learn a little, others didn't learn anything at all. And many experts started asking, was it real learning or just random memory? Still, the idea didn't die. From language tapes in the 60 seconds to modern YouTube sleep learning videos, millions of learners around the world have been curious. Could this be the fastest way to master a language? So that's the history. But what does modern science say? Does your brain actually study while you sleep, or is it just resting? Let's break down the neuroscience in Chapter 2. Chapter 2. The Science of Sleep and the Brain. Now let's dive into the science. What actually happens inside your brain when you fall asleep? Well, sleep isn't just one long, quiet state. It's made up of several stages: light sleep, deep sleep, and REM sleep, and each stage plays a unique role in how we process memories. During deep sleep, your brain is like a librarian, carefully sorting and filing away everything you learned during the day. It's not really learning new things, it's strengthening the knowledge you already studied. That's why reviewing English before bed can be so powerful. Your brain keeps working on it even while you're unconscious. But here's where it gets interesting. Studies show that if your brain hears something familiar during sleep, like words you studied earlier, it can reactivate that memory and make it stronger. Almost like pressing the save button while you're dreaming. Cool, right? On the other hand, trying to learn something completely new in deep sleep doesn't work very well. Your brain simply isn't in the right mode to absorb fresh information. It's busy cleaning, repairing, and organizing. And then comes REM sleep, the stage when you dream. Here, your brain connects ideas, builds creativity, and sometimes even solves problems. Some scientists believe this is why you might wake up with a new understanding of something you were struggling with the day before. Nice. So, can you learn English while you sleep? The truth is, your brain is amazing at reinforcing what you already know, but it struggles with brand new material. Which brings us to the real question. How can we use this knowledge to actually improve our English skills? That's what we'll cover in Chapter 3, the benefits of listening to English while you sleep and how to do it the smart way. Chapter 3, the benefits of listening to English while you sleep. All right, so if your brain can't fully learn brand new English words while you sleep, does that mean it's useless? Not at all. In fact, listening to English while you sleep still offers some surprising benefits. First, it reinforces what you've already studied. Let's say you learned 10 new vocabulary words today. If you play audio with those same words while you sleep, your brain might reactivate and strengthen those memories. The next morning, they'll feel more familiar, almost like you practiced them twice. Second, it helps with pronunciation and rhythm. Even if you're not consciously listening, your brain still absorbs the sound patterns of English. Over time, this can make your speaking more natural because your ear is trained to the flow of the language. Third, it creates an immersion effect. Think of it like background exposure. Just by surrounding yourself with English sounds, you're keeping the language alive in your mind. It's like living in an English-speaking environment, even while you sleep. But here's the key. These benefits only work if you've already studied while awake. Sleep learning is a booster, not a shortcut. If you expect to go to bed knowing zero English and wake up fluent, well, that's still science fiction. So now the big question. How do you actually do it? What's the right way to listen to English while you sleep so you get the benefits without wasting time? Let's talk about that in Chapter 4. Chapter 4. How to use sleep listening effectively. So, how can you actually use this in your own English learning? The key is not just what you listen to, but how you do it. Let's break it down into 3 simple steps. First, always review before you sleep. Study your vocabulary, sentences, or dialogues while you're awake, then play the same material as you go to bed. This way, your brain has a fresh memory to reinforce during deep sleep. Second, choose the right audio. Use clear recordings with simple sentences, vocabulary you've already studied, or short stories. Avoid loud, fast, or distracting content. Remember, the goal isn't entertainment, it's gentle reinforcement. Third, make it comfortable. Play the audio at a low volume just enough for your brain to catch it, but not so loud that it disturbs your rest. Ideally, use a playlist of 30-60 minutes that can loop or fade out so you don't wake up in the middle of the night. But here's a warning. Don't expect miracles overnight. Sleep listening works best when it's part of a bigger study plan, not a replacement for real practice. Think of it like watering a plant. It helps growth, but you still need sunlight and soil. Now, this all sounds great, but many learners make the same mistakes when trying this method, and those mistakes can actually hurt your learning instead of helping. Let's break down the most common ones in Chapter 5. Chapter 5, Common Mistakes to Avoid. By now, sleep listening probably sounds powerful, but here's the truth. Many learners make simple mistakes that stop them from getting results. Let's go over the 3 biggest ones. The first mistake is expecting magic. Some people think they can go to bed knowing zero English and wake up fluent. Sorry, it doesn't work like that. Sleep listening is a booster, not a miracle. The second mistake is using the wrong material. If you play long movies, complex podcasts, or content you've never studied, your brain won't know what to do with it. Instead, it'll just feel like background noise, and you'll wake up more tired than before. The third mistake is hurting your sleep. Some learners play audio all night at high volume. The result? They wake up exhausted, and poor sleep actually hurts memory and learning. Remember, sleep first, learning second. So, if you want this method to work, avoid these traps. Focus on quality, not quantity. Even 30 minutes of the right audio before deep sleep is far better than blasting 8 hours of noise into your ears. All right, we've now covered the history, the science, the benefits, the best practices, and the common mistakes. But what's the bottom line? Can sleep listening really help you learn English? Let's wrap it all up in Chapter 6. Chapter 6, Conclusion and Final Message. So, what's the truth about learning English while you sleep? Well, here it is. You can't magically download new words into your brain overnight. That part is just a dream. And this is important, you can strengthen the English you already studied, improve your listening ear, and create an immersive environment that keeps the language alive in your mind. Think of sleep learning as a bonus. It won't replace your study sessions, your practice, or your conversations, but it will give you an extra push, like reviewing without even trying. That's a pretty good deal, right? So the next time you're about to sleep, ask yourself, why not let English be the last thing my brain hears today? Even a small habit like this can make a big difference over time. If you found this video helpful, give it a like. It really helps more learners discover these tips. And I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever tried listening to English in your sleep? Did it work for you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'll be reading and replying. And hey, if you want more stories, tips, and real-life methods to learn English faster, don't forget to subscribe to English Stories with Alex. Hit the bell so you won't miss the next episode. I've got more powerful learning strategies coming your way soon. Until then, sweet dreams and happy learning.